So tell me about like what does a devotional time look like before cafe then with your leaders?
Yeah. So we always have a student leader devotions. Um, so we typically have about 20 to 30 minutes to do that, and it looks different. Um, Sometimes we do prayer walks where we send the students out and just go soak in the school with prayer.
Yeah.
Today, we just simply sat around and talked around the table, and then we prayed before we started serving. So kind of refocus before we serve.
So you guys like, so you say a prayer walk, like you'll go out like during lunch tables, like where students are sitting in the morning, or?
Yeah. So normally we have 5 or so different wings, and we'll have every student kind of take a wing, like the E wing, the A wing.
So they'll go down the hallway.
They go down the hallway,
Whoa.
pray for classrooms. Sometimes they have teachers that are like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And so they get an opportunity to tell them that we're not just creepers. And we're not talking to ourselves. We're legitly
like mumbling people walking
changing
down
the
the hallway.
atmosphere. Yeah. So I learned not to do that. I just kind of watch our stuff.
Just let them run with it and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do cafe at Washington. I mainly know this because I hardly ever see you at the office, so I know that you're always like running somewhere. So can you just like, whether it's Monday at Washington or somewhere else, describe to me like your busiest staff day. Like describe to me your busiest day with Collision, like doing stuff.
Today,
Monday.
Let me tell you about my
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So, get up about 5:30, and get to cafe at 6:45, and we set up. We're done with cafe 8:45, 9:15. We have prayer with our staff. Today, we had lunch. After lunch, I have another meeting. So just lots of back-to-back meetings, and then I have a DMM later on, so I'll probably be home around 6 o'clock. So we also do Joe Foss, and that's on Wednesdays. We go there during lunches and hang out with the students.
Now, I know Joe Foss is like different than the other schools, just like structure-wise, so what does that look like then to do a lunch at Joe Foss?
Yeah. So we spend about, so Joe Foss is interesting. It's like one of my favorite schools, and I hope you did not record that. I love all the schools, but
We're rolling.
we're going. It's really like the teachers they're there to teach, but before anything else, they're there to take care of like the students' emotional stage that they're in. So they have a lot of students that are immigrant refugees. Also those that may have like not passed high school, or got a lot of girls that like get pregnant early, and so they need to like get their school done fast. So they have a lot of things to offer. They have like a food pantry for them. If they need clothes for a job interview, they have that. So they provide a lot for the students. And then we simply go there once a week for half an hour every Wednesday and just chill with them. And a lot of times they don't understand us. We don't understand them because they just moved to America. But it's fun to annoy them, and they get used to us. And,
that's good.
We have some good conversations. Like a lot of times they wonder like, okay, why do you guys come here and bring us candy every Wednesday? And so it's a good it's a good conversation starter to answer that, because we love you guys. And
they provide a lot of things for students then.
They do. It's really like precious school.
Yeah. That's so cool that you get a foot in the door in a school like that. I mean,
we have both feet, but
that's one of Lou's many punful jokes. So great.
Yeah, both feet in.
Both feet in. So, you know, I know Washington's a pretty diverse student body, and then you're talking about Joe Foss. Let's be honest. Do you have a heart for like the international student population?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I think something that like really connected me with that is I'm not from here. Like I wasn't born in America, and I know what it's like to come to a brand new school, to start from scratch. And so a lot of times that's like the way I connect with them. And diversity I've always grown up with it. It's always something I've been around in, and so, yeah, kind of click.
I think what's really cool is it's easy to tell that about you. Like even, so for those of you who don't know, last summer of 2019, we did a lot of actual outreach in the city, and like I love being around the kids. Like it's a lot of fun, but you just have a special knack for relating to international students, and I think especially with how fast Sioux Falls is growing, specifically with that population, that's cool that you have that. How does that play over, like when you have student leaders? Like, do you have international students that are like leading stuff?
That's always a challenge and a barrier, language and culture, and honestly, like the most important thing to me is how can I connect them to somebody that loves the Lord and can introduce them to Jesus. So, like that's a challenge. Like, how can I find the right person that may understand them, their culture? They don't necessarily have to be their ethnicity or anything, but answering your question, from that we get those leaders.
That's cool. One really cool moment, we met a new student this morning, Monday what's the day, the 13th? Yeah.
13th.
A new, he's from where? El Salvador?
El Salvador.
Yeah. He was reading his Bible in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
And you were able to get kind of at least a surface level connection.
So this kid, he's like, his English is not that great. He's only lived here for 6 months, and he's like, I love Jesus too. He came over and just sat there for a little bit. Just like, hey.
Yeah. Like, you don't understand what you're saying, but I love you.
Yeah, he's like, we had one of our volunteers, she knows Spanish, so she was translating for us, and it was good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What a unique, like, God-ordained opportunity, because you just happen to have a volunteer who's usually not there on Mondays, right? Like, she's not a regular.
No.
And she was there this morning to be able to translate for this kid from El Salvador. So that's
I would have
so
been
wild.
calling Kat. I'm like, Kat, please help me out.
Well, yeah, because she's an
friends.
ELL major, so she's like, Kat, I need you to translate for me over the phone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. That's so cool. So, you're obviously stay busy. What do you do in your free time?
I love watching movies. I love being outside. To serve the Lord. My favorite color is light tan.
Light tan? Is that even a real color? Oh my goodness, that doesn't count.
But I love journaling. Just anything outdoor. I like to play soccer. Am I good at it? That's another question I do not want to answer.
I promise I won't ask you that.
I enjoy music. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's awesome.